Welcome again to Classic and Sports Car Centre near Malton, and this afternoon I think it's the first time I've ever demonstrated two show standard S Type Jaguars both at the same time. They're both 3.4 litres, they're both manual cars with power assisted steering. This car is slightly earlier, it says 1967 model year, so it has the leather interior. This particular car is a 68, so it has the ICI Ambler interior. This one I've known since about 1997. I bought it from the second private owner really, which is the former service manager of Appleyard Jaguar in Bradford, when it had less than 44,000 miles from new. It's now got 67 on it, but that's an incredible low mileage for its years. This particular car is a well restored car which has won multiple shows in the time that we've known it. Both of these cars are very difficult to fault in terms of their cosmetic condition. The shut lines, panel fit, really superb. The Golden Sand car has very beautiful restored woodwork, a very tight burr on the walnut there on the dash. With the green car, certainly the lower wood, not the dash top, but the lower woodwork is factory original. That's exactly how they were. So one of the reasons I've decided to drive the gold car back rather than the green one is because the green one I'm very familiar with. It is an incredibly together car with a lovely low mileage, and I think you just can't criticise the drive of it. This one, multiple show winning car, absolutely gorgeous, but I've not driven it, so I'll be able to give you a sort of perspective on how it drives as an S-Type. And one of the reasons that I prefer the drive of the S-Type to the Mark II Jaguar, which shares the basics of its monocoque construction, is the fact that it's got a wonderful all-independent rear suspension that was developed for the E-Type. And that suspension system remained with Jaguar right through the 1970s, 80s and into the 90s. In fact, if you put a 1992 Daimler 66 on a ramp and then put this one up next to it, you'd say, well, apart from it being wider, it looks very similar. Inboard rear discs, absolutely wonderful supple suspension, and it gives the S-Type a ride which is very, very similar to the XJ6, and it drives exactly as you'd expect it. All these acres of wood and the beautiful black and white dials, it's a gorgeous thing to sit in and to drive. And once we get out of the village, I'll be able to open it up a little bit. I would if there wasn't a farm vehicle up ahead. So you know what, rather than crawl all the way back to the main road behind this guy, I'm going to take a different route. Got very good synchros on the gearbox. And now we're on a national speed limit road. I'll just put it through its paces a little bit. Lovely Jaguar XK engine roar there. Lovely. And into overdrive at 60. And there's a big difference between the way this rides now on a fairly undulating road surface to the Mark II. It's much more modern because of the all-independent suspension setup. It really is a pleasure to ride in. You get a little bit more wind noise on a car of this age than you would with a modern car. Obviously that's a technology that changed a lot in the 1980s. You know, no quarter lights and windscreens bonded into frames as the way they are now. But I can't fault that. I mean, if I was to do a works list for the workshop, for whoever buys this car, it would simply be service, function check, valet. Pulls like a train. Yeah, lovely roar there from the 3.4 litre twin cam. And there we have two of the finest S-Type Jaguars you would find anywhere, both capable of going to club events and concours and competing with the very best.